All right, what's up, guys? So I just wanted to make a video, kind of just raw. No cuts, no editing. Not that I really do any editing, to begin with, but I just want to talk about Lightfall and like how I feel after playing it for a good amount of time. Now that's the second day or end of the second day of it being out. Kind of just how I feel about it. If you don't know already, the reviews have been god awful, like terrible. You can see on the screen right now, Metacritic has it at a 1.1, which I think is the lowest rated DLC that they've ever that's been reviewed. Obviously, it's the second day; reviews can change over time, but I mean, this is the lowest, you know, one they've had in a while, and it kind of worries me about the future of Destiny and what's in store for the final shape and beyond. Because the problem with this DLC isn't the actual like content that's in it, if you know what I mean. And let me explain that a little bit. The problem with this DLC is surprisingly the narrative that a lot of people are having an issue with, and I personally have an issue with. And I think it's up for multiple reasons and multiple different issues as to why that could be. But the story just wasn't there. Same amount of missions, campaign missions, as the Witch Queen, which was a phenomenal campaign. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the story as a whole. It just didn't really seem like it pushed the narrative in a direction for a DLC that meant to kind of break boundaries. Like they even said this is supposed to be the Infinity War of the Destiny universe, and that's a pretty bold statement to make. And I just don't feel like they delivered on that. Obviously with the ending, I won't spoil anything if you haven't, finished it. I don't know why you'd be watching this video if you haven't already played through Lightfall, but I won't spoil anything. But even the ending, even it just didn't it didn't really feel that engaging. It didn't really feel that narrative pushing like the Witch Queen did, or I mean even Beyond Light to a certain extent. That campaign was not great, but in narrative wise, I feel like it was better than this one, which is definitely sad to say because Beyond Light was not a great DLC, especially off launch. But I feel like another thing that ruined the campaign for me was actually Strand. Now, I do like the subclass. It's really fun. It's really strong, and I can only imagine with the fragments and aspects and other stuff like that, it's going to come out in the future. It's going to get even better. But I feel like Strand kind of overpowered the narrative of it, and it was more about Strand than it really was about Lightfall. If that makes any sense. I don't. I'm not really sure. My opinion could change in the future. Who the fuck knows? But I just feel like it just wasn't there. It just missed the mark. But I mean, that's the bad. That's the bad about the campaign and Lightfall. But the good is that the campaign missions, like I don't know if I'm the only one who feels this way. This is just my opinion. But these are some of the best missions that Bungie's ever made. Like the actual missions, not the story behind the missions, but the gameplay. And with Strand, it was really good. It's one of the best final boss fights we've had in a while, in my opinion. It's some of the best missions. The Horde mode mission, which if you've played, you know what I'm talking about. That mission's great. That mission's amazing. But it's just it's weird. It's a weird gray area because that's really all good I have to say about the campaign. The only other good I can think of is like the gear and the armor and stuff like that, and even the seasonal activity. I actually do enjoy a Season of the Defiance and the armor and the weapons. I think that's all really good. But something about the campaign just kind of it just I don't know. It kind of rubs me the wrong way. It doesn't make me feel great about the future of Destiny. And yeah, that's kind of how I feel about that. Some more pros about it. Let me think. That's actually now I think about it. Maybe I'll think of something in the future. But another thing I wanted to touch on was Neomuna itself. They kind of built it up to make it seem like it was going to be an actual city. Like, we kind of interact with the people of Neomuna, but we only get really interact with two Cloud Striders. And I get that for the narrative and the story they were pushing, those were the two main characters in that with Osiris as well. But I kind of wanted to see the city operate. Because they said it was going to be a working city, and it's not really not. It's kind of just like it feels like an abandoned city. It's like an up-to-date city, but it's abandoned. I don't know. I hope you can understand what I'm trying to say with that one. But yeah, so I'll get into the point of why I'm making this video. with it being the lowest rated DLC that they've had release off launch, it's the lowest rated one. The only saving grace for this DLC is the raid. Now, I cannot stress how much I actually mean that. I have done every single day one raid since the beginning of Destiny 2, and I did Wrath in Destiny 1. I did not do King's Fall or Crota or Vault day one. I have played Destiny since the beginning, since back when I was literally in middle school. Um, but yeah, it's just I've played every single day one raid since then, and normally, like even with Beyond Light, like Deepstone Crypt was, a good saving grace for Beyond Light. It made that DLC, even though it was kind of lacking a lot in the beginning, Deepstone Crypt kind of tied it together and made things a lot better. So that's what I really need Root of Nightmares to do for this raid, for me to kind of feel better about, this expansion. I've been a long time Destiny supporter, Destiny player, Bungie defender. I've supported Bungie, Bungie Foundation, all that stuff for multiple years ongoing now, and don't plan to stop, but I just feel like we keep getting a lot of empty promises with them, and Lightfall is a perfect example of that. I feel like it's more of Bungie being able to say, look, okay, we know we messed up. We'll do better in the future. Well, now is kind of the future, or at least Lightfall was supposed to be the future where they made quality of life changes and they, expanded and did better. And I think on some aspects they have, they've really done good. But I think on, basics, especially within the past 2 years, I think that they've kind of, especially with the narrative and the way the story's going and how the story's told, it's getting a lot better, and Lightfall kind of just made it worse. I know I'm going off on a complete tangent and I'm not making a lot of sense, so I'm sorry. I am tired. I've been playing Lightfall for almost 2 days straight. I got like 4 hours of sleep last night because I literally woke up and started playing again. But Brood of Nightmares, otherwise known as Ron, needs to be one of the best raids they've ever made for this DLC to get a jump start back. But that's just my opinion. You guys could be loving the DLC, loving everything, and if you are, I'm happy for you. I really am, because I'm actually enjoying my time playing the game. But like I said, there's just few things, there's a good amount of things that Bungie has done very well in the past that they're kind of starting to go backwards in certain directions, and that worries me. Yeah, sorry. um, yeah, that's all I gotta say. So, yeah, thank you for watching.